What's going on, guys? First off, I want to thank every single one of you for taking time out of your day to hear me talk about building a massive brand. Now, before we really hop into it, let's talk about what I mean by massive. Now, we have to understand everybody's objectives are completely subjective, meaning it ultimately depends on what it is that you want. We can absolutely focus on building millions and millions and millions of followers. But in my opinion, I'd much rather build a much more efficient community of followers that are loyal to the brand. So there's two things that I look for when building a brand. One, I want to make sure that that brand helps me convert more leads into business, right? And second, I want to make sure that it takes as little time as possible out of my daily life. I want to make it streamlined. And that's what we're going to focus on mainly in today's presentation. Now, before we get into how we build it out, first, let me introduce myself. So my name is Michael Glaspie. I am currently by day a mortgage loan officer, right? And although I started off as a real estate agent, helping build out an investor-centric team, I also spent about 10 years in the military. Now, during that time in the military, I invested in real estate and I was able to acquire a little over 130 doors in about 4 years, almost 5 years. As you guys can see on my shirt, I'm repping my brand here, where I took that experience between the military and real estate, and I became a co-host and co-founder of Military Cashflow with my buddy Dan Wynn. From that platform, I've been able to use it to catapult different things, like becoming an Amazon best-selling author as well with my book, The Elite Investor, A Military Approach to Real Estate Investing. So everything that we're going to talk about today is how a guy who was in the military, right? Very closed off, no social media, then turned around and was able to use all of this daily content to help me not only build a brand, but then turn it around into repeat customers. So what are we going to talk about today very specifically? One, which I think is probably the most daunting, is going to be content generation or content creation, right? We want to make sure that we feel comfortable with the type of content that we're putting out there and the workload associated with it. Remember, we want this to be somewhat seamless. The next thing we're going to talk about is attacking the algorithm. And don't worry, we're going to get into that one. And I'm going to try to make it as fun as possible, because a lot of times when people hear algorithm, it kind of, sounds a little scary or boring. But we're going to try to make this one interesting. The next is making sure that we target the right audience. Extremely imperative. Then we're going to maximize our efforts, streamline and optimize, and then we're going to wrap it up for the day. So first, let's get into content generation. What we have to understand about content generation is people connect with people. So let's stop real quick. And I want you to think about whatever celebrity it is that you follow most closely. And what I mean by that is, pretty much their family life, right? You know what they do in their activities, what restaurants they go to, what they may have worn on the red carpet showcase, or whatever the case may be, okay? Now think about this. You don't personally know them, but yet you somehow feel connected. Now, why is that? It's because you've connected with who they authentically are, who they at least portray themselves to be on camera. So this is something that's extremely imperative for all of us to understand as we're building our brand. You have to be authentically you. And this is going to be super important. One, as you're authentically you, you're not posing. You're not faking it. It becomes off more natural. Now, instead of spending hours upon hours of trying to prep the perfect script or the perfect content, you're just being naturally you. It allows you to flow with the content creation. So that's part one. Part two is, again, people are attracted to people. So let me ask you, would you rather have 1 million followers who didn't really know you, didn't really like you, didn't really vibe with whatever your message was? Or would you rather have 50 followers who said, yo, I like this person. I genuinely like this person. I don't care what their content is. I'm going to purchase it. I'm going to like it. I'm going to share it. I'm going to subscribe it. If they host an event, if they produce a book, I'm buying it. Which one would you rather have? To me, I'd rather have the 50, right? I would rather have identified my tribe, which is extremely important for you to understand how that brand continues to grow from there. Okay. Now, when we're talking about finding our tribe and then generating content for them, let's take a step back a little bit. Many people will say, hey, I would love to make more videos. I would love to write blogs. I would love to do whatever it is to attract an audience, to educate them. But you know what? I don't know enough. You know what? I haven't done enough deals to be considered credible. Now, how many of you feel that way, right? Many of you probably have felt that way before, if not now. But understand this, when you get in front of the camera, you are the subject matter expert, period. It is what it is. You're speaking now and others are listening. The best way to visualize this and conceptualize it is understand, like if you were reading a book, okay, and the book was very storyline driven, and at the end of the chapter or at the end of the book, you knew what happened. You only have to be one chapter ahead of somebody else for you to be able to tell them what's coming next. And it's the same with content generation, guys. You just need to be one chapter ahead of the book. You have to remember that all of us started somewhere. All of us started not even understanding finances. All of us started not even understanding real estate. We had to learn somewhere, somehow, even if you haven't purchased a property, right, in real estate. And again, guys, I'm using real estate because, hey, that's my forte, but it can be anything for you. It can be fashion. It can be mechanics. It can be marketing. Understand that you are the subject matter expert. Everybody started from somewhere. All you have to do is be one chapter ahead to be able to provide valuable content for people to absorb and to find value in. Okay. Now, when you're going out there and you're thinking, all right, I'm a chapter ahead, where do I start? Right? What chapter am I really on? How do I find the other people that are the chapter behind? Well, let's just take our daily actions and our daily lessons learned to start with our content creation. Okay, so what do I mean by that? I'm going to continue to use real estate as an example because I feel really safe there. All right, let's just be honest. So let's talk about if I'm starting to find deals. How did I do it? Okay, well, you know what? I first read this article on something like biggerpockets.com. Great, cool. Where did I find Bigger Pockets? Well, I found it on the radio. Okay, you know what? Now I can create a piece of content on Instagram or on Facebook to say, hey guys, I'm really motivated about my journey in real estate, right? I just heard from this podcast about this forum called Bigger Pockets. So I'm going to dig in and I'll keep you guys up to date. Boom, right? Then you start whatever the next stage is. Oh, I talked to a seller. I negotiated a piece. Oh, great. He said this. I didn't know what to do, but you know what? I went back to this forum and I found the answer. You see what I'm saying? What I'm talking about here is being able to take your life lessons and as you're physically or literally going through it, use that to create content. It's extremely powerful because now people are actually seeing the human side of you. They're seeing the struggles. It's not like it's fake. It's not like it's, oh, this person has it all figured out. They're untouchable. I can never be where they are. Instead, you're connecting and finding your tribe to say, hey guys, we're all struggling through this together. And I'm just sharing my knowledge. It's an extremely powerful piece that most of us fail to realize needs to be stated more. And so when you're looking for ways to generate content, that's a perfect place to start. Take your daily life lessons and make it content. All right. As you continue to learn, you continue to teach others. Now, once you started that, yes, that might get you through a couple of pieces of content, and then you're going to hit another brick wall. And you're going to say, all right, well, you know, I'm trying to produce a piece of content a day or once a week, and I feel like I'm running out of ideas. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to do a content creation exercise. So I want everybody to stop what you're doing, pull out your pen and your paper or your phone notes, right? Don't be texting. No, I'm playing. Pull out something to write this down because I want you guys to at least go through the rehearsal practice. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to write down one topic specific to your niche, okay? One topic that you feel comfortable speaking about, all right? Now from there, I want you to take that one topic, just a general topic, and I want you to break it down into 3 components, all right? So you have your one topic, What are 3 components of that topic? Now, what I want you to do is take those 3 components and I want you to break each one of those down into 3 sub-components. All right. You guys can pause it right here. You guys can come back. You guys can write down the exercise and keep listening, whatever. But this is going to be extremely important for you as far as making sure that you never run out of content. So let me give you an example of how this would look. Again, real estate is kind of where my safe space is. So we're going to use the one general topic is real estate flipping. Real estate flipping. And it could be any content, right? But real estate flipping. Now, our 3 components is going to be the buy side, right? The rehab side and the sell side. Does that make sense? And now, for the sake of time, under the buy side, you would have the sub components of how to find the property, how to analyze the property, and then how to fund the property, right? Then you would do the same for the rehab and the same for the sale. The purpose of this exercise, you guys got to understand, each one of those topics is a massive amount of content individually. If I told each one of you to go out and you just took that one general topic and I said, hey, make a 10-minute piece of content on this topic, I guarantee you all of you could do it. But by doing this exercise, I can also guarantee that each one of you can make a 10-minute piece of content on each one of those components and subcomponents. Now, this is just a general example, but you can further divide those subcomponents into 3 more, and 3 more, and then 3 more. I guarantee it, right? And what this allows you to do is now you can sit back and you can plan out your content for the entire year if you wanted to. And as most of you may already know, planning out content is one of the most stressful parts of it all. So if you can get that out the way and all you need to do is actually show up and record, it could make your life a little bit less stressful, okay? All right, so we went over content generation. Most of you guys should be feeling confident about your ability to create ideas. Now that we're ready, we got to record it, we're ready to implement it. The next step is attacking the algorithm. Now, I told you I'm going to try to make this as fun as possible. Don't get scared of the word algorithm. So let's think about this though. Computers use algorithms. All these systems use algorithms, right? And what is algorithm? An algorithm is a bunch of zeros and ones that say, hey, how can I maximize the efficiency of this system or this computer? That's what it is. Now let's think about this. What is the algorithm created from? Let's think about this. If you got social media, dating apps, games, or whatever else, what are the algorithms created from? They're created from human data. Let's think about it. It's created from human data. The social media platforms want as many viewers on their platforms as long as possible. So they're going to say, hey, what is going to be the most addictive for the human psyche? What's going to be the most impactful, the most engaging, right? The most entertaining for the human psyche. That's how they base their algorithm. Well, hey, we are trying to build a brand. We're trying to find our audience. So when we're generating content, we need to keep in mind how the algorithm thinks. It's going to be extremely important. Okay, so how does the algorithm think? One, we're going to talk about the human psychology here in a second, but they say we want as many eyeballs on our platform as possible for as long as possible. So let's break it down into stories and posts. And for those of you who are familiar with stories and understand all these platforms are different, we're going to get into that in a little bit. But a story was something that's quick, it's rapid, it's on your page, on your profile, and then it's gone. And a post is something that sticks, right? And now we have our reels and things of that nature, depending on the platform. But the post is something that essentially sticks with your profile. So for a story, we want 5 to 10 stories a day. Don't get scared. Don't run away. Don't run away from me. 5 to 10 a day. Now, why is that? 5 to 10 a day just shows that you're active. And as people go through their stories, they get to see different things. And if they're entertained, they're going to want to see it every time it pops. Think about this. Think about how many of you get on social media and you don't even know some of these people. And you see their story and you want to click on it just to click on it, just to see what they're doing now. It's a real thing, guys. The 5 to 10 stories a day just allows more people to get a chance to view your content. The more people that view your content, the higher in the algorithm ranking you're going to go, the more people that the platform will promote you to. So 5 to 10 a day. Now, before you get scared, understand that stories are typically quick clips, right? 30 seconds long, 10 seconds long, 50 seconds long, whatever the case is, they're quick. And so the best part is if you sit there and try to record something and you're speaking, let's say we're walking a property and we're recording it as we talk, but we only put it on our story. Well, guess what? If I've talked for 2 minutes, I've hit those 15 clip, 20 clip sections. Boom, now I got 5 stories off of one video recording, right? So it's not as daunting as you might think. Another thing you can do, it doesn't help as much, but nothing you can do is simply share other people's stories just to make sure it's getting on yours, right? But again, 5 to 10 a day. Now let's talk about the posts. The posts, again, those are the reels, those are the things that stick. Now you can do as many as you want, but you want to shoot for a minimum of about 3 to 5 a week. Now it's kind of low, but again, same concept applies. We want to be able to build up what I like to call a digital resume. Because remember, these are going to stick on your profile. So people can see your journey as it goes. People can go back and look at what you've done. They can verify that what you say is legit, right? That other people have given you testimonials, whatever the case is. To me, it's like a digital resume. So you want to have those posts about 3 to 5 times a week to at least show that consistency in what the value that you're offering. All right, so now we have the eyes on the platform. That's covered. The next thing is targeting the human psychology to this, right? So let's talk about human psychology. 1, attention span is damn near non-existent in today's society. So on that note, for everybody who's still watching, thank you for paying attention. Hopefully that means I'm entertaining you a little bit or you're getting some value. But nonetheless, attention span is very, very, it's not common anymore, okay? So how do we capture somebody's attention quickly is really what it all boils down to. Here goes another great example. How many of you may have seen a video come up, right? And you want to watch it, but it just takes too long to get to the funny part, or it's not entertaining from the beginning. And you say, you know what, I'm good. Let me just go to the next one. This is a perfect example of it capturing attention. So the way I like to do it is we want to address the topic up front. In the military, we call this bottom line up front or bluff, right? Essentially says, hey, this is what it is. Put it right there. Because now if people do want to listen, they know to pay attention. Okay, great. Capture their attention or not right away, addressing the topic up front. The next thing is the value. So after you address the topic, you want to get straight to the value. Now, what is value? Value can be extremely small. It can be nominal. It doesn't have to be, hey, I'm giving away my course at a discount. It could just be a piece of advice. It could be something as simple as, hey, again, talking about flipping, I just put an LVP or vinyl flooring throughout this entire house. And guess what? I use this coupon code and save 50%, right? Or, hey, I talked to Jacob over at Lowe's and he saved me a buttload. If you guys want to save some money, go to Lowe's off of 123 Main Street. It could be something like that, right? Just providing value. But what we have to understand, back again to the human psychology, there's something called the Law of Reciprocity. What does that mean? It says that the human nature is inclined to want to return a favor. If I give you value, you want to naturally be like, I wish I could do something to help you out, which leads us into number 3. So once we address the topic and we add value and we have that law of reciprocity dangling right there, we want to go for the call to action. Now, the call to action can be many things. It can be like, go subscribe to this, buy this course, give me a call, right? Call now, as most people remember from those infomercials, right? But what do you guys hear most often? Hey, smash the like button, leave a comment below, share this content and subscribe to the channel, right? For YouTube, for example, that's a call to action. Why? Because now we're trying to play off that law of reciprocity. And you know what our call to action is? It's typically something that's going to push them to the next level or to the next phase of our lead conversion. Remember back in the beginning, when we're building out these brands, it needs to be a revolving wheel of conversion, right? So for many people out there as a loan officer, I may say, hey, look, if you're ready to save some money, apply now, right? That's something I could use. But if it's from my YouTube channel, which we have, yeah, great. Share, like, and subscribe, because once you do all of that, you're also going back to the algorithm of the platform. This is how you attack the algorithm of the platform, guys. I want you to pay attention to this, because you're playing off the human emotion, which is what the algorithm is based off from the beginning. And understand the algorithm changes all the time. So you have to do your homework. You have to stay abreast of this, and you have to make sure that you're adapting as the platforms are adapting. Okay. All right. The next one is targeting the right audience. So when you target the right audience, you want to make sure that, again, you're finding that authentic tribe to you. Extremely important. But as you start to build out your brand and people are engaging and they're starting to do things, guess what? We can now find those metrics, right, within these platforms, within Instagram, within Facebook. And now we can take those metrics to really hone in who our tribe is. There's too many times that we'll start a journey and we'll think that our avatar of a target client or audience is X, Y, and Z. When in reality, we're sitting there targeting them and they're not responding. It's an entirely different tribe. Well, guess what? Once those metrics are performed and we actually identify that, that needs to be our new target. Another thing about the metrics is they're going to tell you exactly what content is being absorbed. Great. Now we can create more of that content. And if you really want to step it up, you're really starting to push out certain content, you can monetize that content. You can see this topic is hot. Great. Let me create a book specifically about this topic. Now I can push that book specifically about this topic back to that target audience. Then if you want to take it one step higher, you can do paid advertisements through these platforms to your target audiences with the desired content. Come on, y'all. That's how you build a massive brand to increase that conversion. Okay. Now let's talk about maximizing efforts. We're getting close to time, so I am going to speed it up just a little bit. Let's talk about maximizing efforts. In social media, you want to be everywhere at once, as best as you can. And you have to understand that for every single different platform, you're going to have a different user, okay? And we're going to go through these briefly, but you'll get the concept. Facebook, probably millennials, right? Instagram, probably just one step lower. And then TikTok, kids, younger folks for the most part. You see, LinkedIn, business professionals. Twitter, business professionals, right? Or bloggers. So you get the idea that the platforms are going to cater to different people. So the best piece of advice I have for you is to build your brand across all the platforms. Most of these platforms are free. So finding ways to actually put the same information on all the platforms is the challenge, but we're going to get to that in a minute. So with Facebook, when you get on there, how do you find the right people? So in Facebook, you're going to just join all the groups that are specific to your niche. I mean, all of them. Why not? Because you can just share your post from your primary page to these groups if they allow it, right? So for me, for example, for real estate investing, I'm in all of them, right? Meaning now as I add something, I might catch another eye to have somebody then follow me on the other platforms, okay? LinkedIn, you can add people in your target audience by identifying things that are of similarity, right? What are some of the things that we like, some of the interests, shared interests? And Instagram, you can use certain hashtags, right? People who use certain hashtags commonly are probably looking within the same category of hashtags. So you can look for hashtags. You can tag certain locations if you're geographically aligned with your business or with your structure. And then you can also mention or tag people who share the same audience as you do. All right, TikTok. With TikTok, simply follow the trends. These trends are always changing. Make content just like the trends are doing with the new song and the new dance, all that good stuff. And guys, to be quite honest, I'm not the best at TikTok, but I have watched some of my peers in the same industry crush lead generation based on TikTok. All right. You can also do niche forums and masterminds, for example, like Bigger Pockets with real estate, or you can decide to create your own group. Now, once you've done all of this and you got all these platforms and you're creating content, guess what? Repurpose all of it. Don't create it again. Don't reinvent the wheel. Simply take that same post, boom, paste it on LinkedIn, boom, paste it somewhere else. Now, yes, this is not the most efficient way to get that true raw organic growth, because that's a whole nother level of algorithm readings and everything for the platforms. But most importantly, what you're doing is you're now reaching larger audiences to attract your tribe. And guys, remember, we want to take as little time out of our lives to help build this, right? Now, think about this. Once you really start getting out there, if you make YouTube videos, well, guess what? The audio can be slipped off and made into a podcast. No extra work from you. It's done, right? The audio can be transcribed and created into a blog or a book. Boom, no extra work. The point is you want to repurpose that information to really push it out there. Now that once you have all this repurposed content, you're really rolling. Now you want to streamline and optimize. What do I mean by that? There's several ways you can do it. So first, you can try to use programs. Many people have heard of Hootsuite, Planoly, all of these other automated scheduling platforms. And that's a great way to start, especially if you're going to be doing it yourself. But as your business grows and as you start to generate revenue, you may want to consider leveraging out a virtual assistant or somebody else to actually manage that social media content for you. Yes, that is a step up, and we'll get there. But the point is, you want to make sure that you're constantly growing and you're not necessarily waiting, right, until that time comes for you to start to experiment with leveraging out content creation. All right. So in summary, we have to remember that people connect with people. That means you have to be authentically you. You have to. This is how you're going to attract your tribe. All right. When content creation comes out, don't overthink it. Just simply write down that list and plan it out for you, or just take what you're doing day to day, put it on your story, go into it and use that as your content generation. What's most important is that we're just attracting the audience and getting eyeballs onto our content. All right. Play on that nature of humanity. We know how humans operate, right? Through psychology, because that's how the algorithm is set up. The computer does it. So we need to make sure that we're doing it in our content every single time. And then most of all, here's the last piece, guys. Make sure that you're having fun, right? Because ultimately, there's no point for you to sit there and be stressed, be overwhelmed. Your health is now going out of the window because you feel like you have to produce content to a certain extent. It's not the case at all. You need to enjoy this journey. Enjoy it, guys. Make it a part of your lifestyle to where it's something that's simple, it's painless, it's optimized, it's streamlined, and you're attracting your true tribe, the people that appreciate the content that you're providing and truly find value in it. So no matter what you produce, they will be there along the journey with you. All right. So that summarizes how you can build that brand through your own lifestyle. So whatever your definition of massive may be. All right. If you guys want to find out more about what we do over at Military Cashflow, you guys can go and check out the YouTube channel at Military Cashflow. You can also go to militarycashflow.com, and there you'll see some of our courses. You'll also see my book available on there as well. And obviously, you guys can find my book on Amazon, The Elite Investor, A Military Approach to Real Estate Problem Solving. A lot of other ways that you guys can find me, even on Instagram, michael.s.glaspie. Here's my call to action to you. Got to do call to action, right? We just talked about it. If you guys find any value in this content and you're watching this on any recording, I want you to go ahead and take a screenshot. I want you to tag me in it. And what I'll do is I'll tag you as well. So I'll expose you to my audience and see if we can start to get some momentum on your side of the house as well. All right. But without further ado, guys, thanks again for taking the time out to learn about this brand building through lifestyle. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see your success very soon.